Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Slikmof, back again with another video, and of course we all know how Batman Arkham Knight ends, the actual game, and if you don't, I highly suggest that you click away because I will be talking about how the game actually ends. But if you do know how it ends, then I would love for you to stick around and we can be sure to talk about how we thought maybe the game could have ended in potentially a better way, or if not a better way, then just a different one than the way that it did actually end. So without further ado, there's a lot of steps along the way that I potentially would have changed. One of the things that I would have changed is the Arkham Knight identity. I won't necessarily get into that. The main thing I would like to touch on is the Nightfall Protocol and also the ending with Scarecrow. And the Scarecrow scene at the very end in Arkham Asylum is one that I remixed. Actually, I changed the music around in it and everything like that. So if you haven't seen that, please go check it out. And I've also got one with the skyscraper scene with Batman, Scarecrow, and Commissioner Gordon up on the top, and Barbara Gordon is revealed that she's still alive, and that whole scene, you can go check that out as well. I remixed both the scenes, I changed the music around, and it got excellent reviews, both of them. So many people were so kind about it, and I really enjoy making those videos, by the way. Now, starting with the Scarecrow scene, and when I say Scarecrow scene, by the way, I mean the ending of the actual main plot of the game with the Arkham Knight and Scarecrow, and specifically the whole thing they did with the Joker and the way that Batman defeated him. Now, the thing I would change about this is I actually don't like the way that this resolved. One of my favorite things about this game was how Joker's in your head the entire time. I actually loved it. It was my favorite part about the game, and I'm glad they brought him back. And I was one of the people before the game came out like, don't bring back Joker, we've seen enough of him, blah, blah, blah. But the way they did him is excellent, and, you know, the main thing I really didn't want is like, oh, look, he is still alive, like, double fake Joker gag, but they obviously didn't do that, and they confirmed that he was dead, which I did quite like. And I also liked the way they did the illusions, and I loved how, like, if there was a puzzle, then the Joker would kind of, like, stand near it and, like, point at what you're supposed to do, and just the whole way they did it was just so good, and how he was in your head, kind of taunting you the whole time, and I love the way they did that. But the way it resolved was kind of lame. So, of course, the way it was set up is that the Joker blood was changing you, and not only you as Batman, but also the other people in the Panessa movie studios, all the people locked up and everything like that, like Johnny Charisma and those kind of people, they were all locked up and they were changing into the Joker. And essentially what was revealed in that scene in the Panessa movie studio is that Batman was also infected and he is turning into the Joker as well. So what happened to all the other people? Well, they turned fully into the Joker. They became the Joker, including Johnny Charisma, the scene where they're, like, spinning around in that wheel and he's singing, you know, in Mark Hamill voice and everything like that. So these people turned into the Joker, right, in this kind of like a weird strain of, like, mad cow disease or something. I don't exactly know how that works. But nonetheless it is, and we kind of like, okay, we'll go along with it. But in the end, the way it resolved was actually just like, oh, nope, I'm Batman. I'm not subject to those, what other people are. So I feel like it was kind of lame, right? So the way it was set up, like I said, is that he's screwed. Like, he's going to become the Joker, just like everyone else. How does he defeat it? It's not through a vaccination or anything. It's just, nope, he's Batman. He just throws Joker in a jail cell in his mind, like a contraption of his mind. I didn't like the way it ended. It didn't make any sense, and if they actually built on that premise of you are screwed, Batman, like you're going to become the Joker, I would have actually preferred it if Batman killed someone. And yes, that's coming from me, and I'm the strongest proponent of Batman not killing. I hate when Batman kills in any iterations of the comics. I've never read any comics where Batman kills or anything like that. And yet, I would say that would have been a great way to end the trilogy. And that's just me. I didn't like the ending where it kind of seemed very much like The Dark Knight Rises, and I'll get into that in a bit. I don't want to start there right now. The whole time, Joker is in Batman's head saying, you know, well, I'm going to get you to kill somebody, or Batman is, quote, a work in progress, end quote. And the Joker is basically saying that he's going to get Batman to kill somebody because Batman's becoming the Joker, right? That's what that's happened to everyone else. It makes sense that Batman should happen there as well. So even though I found the way that the Arkham Knight kind of saves Batman or comes to the rescue of Batman and breaks his chains loose is something that I found quite obvious and I saw it coming from a mile away. But even if you keep that, that's whatever. I'm not going to complain about that too much. So the Arkham Knight or Gordon frees Batman or whatever. Batman gets his hands on Scarecrow. Instead of injecting him with fear toxin, he straight up just snaps his neck. And you see the green eyes come to him, right? And he's becoming the Joker, and he snaps his neck. He kills Scarecrow. He kills Jonathan Crane. And then, like, the green goes away, and he kind of comes back to Bruce Wayne, and then he's, like, just holding Scarecrow, a dead Scarecrow in his arms, and he's realizing what he's done. The whole game is kind of built on the premise that Batman might die. This may be his final act protecting Gotham. Even at the very beginning of the reveal trailer, we hear Commissioner Gordon saying, "This is how it happened. This is how the Batman died." The question is, does anyone really buy that? Does anyone really think that Rocksteady is going to reveal their biggest plot point in their entire trilogy in the opening scene of their game, or in the opening part of the reveal trailer, wherever it was? I can't exactly remember. Either way, my point stands. No one actually thought Batman was going to die, because they told us he was going to in the very first scene of the game. Of course he's not going to. They're not going to reveal that to us. And also, he's Batman. He's not going to die. He's, like, never died. I mean, even in The Dark Knight Rises, he didn't die. So instead of creating this artificial dichotomy that no one was buying of Batman may live or he may die, which we all knew wasn't going to happen, if you develop the psychological turmoil that's happening inside Bruce Wayne, that is a much more intriguing plot, in my personal opinion. If what I said were to come true, Batman kills Scarecrow, then the Nightfall Protocol would also be drastically different, because we wouldn't get sold this bullshit kind of ambiguous ending of, oh, did Bruce Wayne blow up his butler and his mansion all in once? Which, again, no one's buying. I don't know what Rocksteady's trying to sell me on. Are they trying to sell me that Bruce Wayne may be dead, he may not be? Did he get out in time? Did he not? Because if so, I'm not buying it. Is any villain that may take his friends hostage, because of course the main reason he said he was doing it is because he had too many of his friends and allies in danger, because his villains can use them as a kind of bargaining chip or whatever, and may kidnap them like they did with Barbara Gordon or whatever. Won't any villain kind of have the same initial thought in their minds, like, did he really kill himself? He's probably just in hiding somewhere. I mean, he must have escaped. Why would he blow himself up and Alfred? That doesn't really make any sense. Don't you think another villain is going to have that intuition and be like, yeah, I think I'm just going to kidnap Commissioner Gordon, and I think he'll come back. I mean, he realizes he wants to protect his friends and family, right? So I think he's going to come back if I kidnap Gordon, because he's still alive. I mean, why would he blow himself up? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know how exactly the Nightfall Protocol could be changed. One of the main things that I would change about the game is not require the full ending of the game to actually be unlocked only by taking in every single villain and unlocking 243 Riddler trophies. When I'm sitting down and I see the ending of the game, I like to see all of it, and then I will go back and get all the Riddler trophies happily, but I just don't want to have to work that hard for the ending. It should happen all at once. When we're in Panessa Studios, Batman even says, once this is all over, I will lock myself up. So if it ends with Batman just permanently ill by Joker, it would be twisted. It would give the game the M rating it deserves. He's so distraught psychologically, and Joker is still a part of him, and he's a part of him forever, and he gets locked up in prison because he's a murderer. And you show the dichotomy between people, the public, you know, some of them are holding, like, we support Batman signs, blah blah blah, kind of like in the Batman v Superman trailer, and it shows how some people support what he did and they want him freed or whatever, and you show that some people are incredibly furious and that he's a vigilante and that kind of thing. And if you kind of build on that, that would be much more interesting than the bullshit Batman is a myth, it's not a man, you know, it lives on forever. Like, I don't know, I didn't like it. I don't know, I feel like they could have done it in a better way. In The Dark Knight, we have Heath Ledger's Joker give a line to Batman, something along the lines of, we're destined to do this forever. If you have that line projected to Bruce Wayne sitting in a jail cell in Arkham Asylum, or not Arkham Asylum, it's shut down, Blackgate Prison, for whatever you'd like to think of it as, and Bruce Wayne is sitting in prison, conscious of the fact that he did not kill Jonathan Crane, Joker did, but he also accepts the fact that he will kill more people in the city that he's trying to protect, and the only way to protect the city that he loves is to lock himself away in the same way that he promised he would do to Robin in Panessa Studios. So guys, I know this video kind of focused on one aspect of the ending, and I could do a ton of videos on all the different aspects of the way the game played out, all the way from the identity of the Arkham Knight onward. This is one thing I really wanted to focus on, because the resolution really does not make sense to me, and the way that he kind of just, it's a quick fix, as it's often called. They set up this premise of, how are we going to resolve this? Are we going to make a cure? Otherwise, Batman's going to go crazy. How is it going to play out? Oh, just quick fix. Oh, we just throw him in the jail cell. All right, it's time to move on with the rest of the game. You know what I mean? It doesn't really make any sense, and I didn't like that part of it. And that's one thing that I would change. I would change the way that whole thing played out. I would say that Batman kills Scarecrow, and they delve deep into what happens afterwards, the aftermath of that as well. And I think that would have been a much more intriguing ending, where we see Bruce Wayne kind of just mentally torn and broken by Joker overtaking his head. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and comment your thoughts on not only my theory, but the way the game actually ended. Thanks again for watching. My name's Slcmof, and we'll see you later.